What's going on? How's everyone doing?
Shout out to Colin. Everybody else who's cool with Colin.
Chucky, I didn't say.
Get your popcorn and your Coca-Cola and relax.
Anyway, tell Colin I'm ready.
What's going on? This is Colin. How's everybody doing? I hope you're having a great day so far. Happy Sunday. Ah, man. All right. What do we got? I hope your NFL team won today. Hope everyone's NFL team won today. My NFL team is off, so they didn't get to lose. You know what? I'm struggling through this, guys. I made the worst decision I possibly could have done today. I made myself this ginormous dinner. And it was delicious. But here's the problem. I essentially made myself Thanksgiving dinner and ate about an hour ago. I'm not going to lie to you. I am half asleep. Was not a good decision. I don't think there's enough caffeine in the world that could wake me up right now. But I had a great weekend. I hope you guys had a great weekend. Let's enjoy some clips together. First clip I have is this is a Karen versus a Dennis clip. This is kind of funny. It really is. Let's see. Before I do get into it, Kill the Cats. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Welcome to the family. That is awesome. Thank you so much for becoming a new member. Also, I got a Venmo last night from Nathan. Nathan, thank you so much for the Venmo, man. I appreciate it. Hope you're having a great weekend too. All right, let's get into it. First clip, Judge Goggins. All right, before I hit that play button, you know what to do. Hit the like and subscribe. Do your junk kickback clips. Let's go.
Let's see. How about Susan Wiley versus Dr. Daneshvar?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did I get you? I apologize. I know I'm not pronouncing it.
You got it right. Thank you.
Okay, well, I'll not say it again. Otherwise I'm going to screw it up. How about Susan Wiley? Do I have Susan Wiley? Oh, I think you see an iPhone there. And why don't you unmute there for me? Got to unmute for me there. Got it. There should be looks like a little microphone with a slash through it. Got to either hit that button or you can hold down your space button. That'll do it too usually if you're on a device. Now we got to get you to unmute there for me. Should be it may be the only other thing. Do you see a button down at the bottom that says audio? Maybe you got that button on there. You see that one?
So I click.
There you go. You got it. Whoop, you got it.
Okay.
All right. Are you Susan Wiley?
Yes.
Okay. I guess have the two of you talked at all? I know it looks like this.
Yes.
Wait.
I've talked many times to him.
Okay.
And we're not getting anywhere.
Okay. Here's what I'm going to tell both of you before we even have a hearing. Ms. Wiley, do you have a witness, an expert witness that's going to tell me that whatever it was, it wasn't an implant. What was it? It was a mouth guard. Thank you. Yeah, I couldn't remember what it was. Do you have an expert that's going to tell me there was something wrong with it?
Well, he wouldn't fit it. And I have TMJ. And I went through him because I'm supposed to get a professional retainer mouth guard by a dentist that's supposed to mold it and fit it to my
Yeah.
butt. And when I went to pick it up, the girl handed it to me and I said, I need it fitted, and it wasn't fitting. And she tried to adjust it and it wouldn't fit. And I asked her to go get the doctor, please, because I thought that he would be fitting it because he's the professional with TMJ.
Yeah, I guess we got it. If that's, if, I'm not gonna, listen right now, ma'am, just, we'll have a hearing if you want to have your hearing.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, all right. Doctor and Ms. Wiley, if the two of you talked at all, have you? Okay.
Yes, we have that.
Would it help if I give you a minute to talk? I've got a couple other ones before you. Would it help?
Your Honor,
No?
I've tried reaching out to her several times. She has refused to accept our phone calls. She only wants to be contacted via writing, and we have done that. I've tried to make compromises, and nothing has worked so
Okay,
far.
I guess honestly, maybe we can do it right now. We're just.
Okay.
Ms. Wiley, why
Yes.
don't both of you raise your right hands for me? You can do that. Ms. Wiley, why don't you raise your right hand for me?
I have it.
I got half a hand to show you. You got your hand raised? Just,
Yes.
okay. Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give will be the truth? I got somebody else on Susan. Yeah, thank you. You can put your hand down.
Check it out.
Are you still employed?
Miss,
Here.
what?
Let me turn my cell phone off because
Now I got,
No, I can't.
now I got, now I
Okay,
got
let me-
Cindy Brown's on the,
I know that's my friend's computer that I'm
okay,
on.
ma'am, why don't you raise your right hand again? That's what, we'll just leave it like it is. Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give will be the truth? Now your mic's off. No, you gotta unmute it just like you did before.
She does figure this out. Don't worry, guys. I could have cut this out, but I personally find this funny, especially after listening to her side of the story.
Okay, now can you hear me?
All right, yep, let's just leave
Yay! And there's no echo. You figured it out. Yay!
it just like that for me, okay?
Okay.
All right, why don't you raise your right hand again? Let's just do it right. Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Wiley, this is your claim for a, right off your complaint here, and I can't read any of the items that you sent in to me, all the internet items. I'm not gonna go through all that.
No, that's fine. I just wanted to
Okay.
show you.
Yeah, nope, I'm not even gonna look at them, so you've got to be able to tell me what, if you make your claim on your own then. It says asking for a full refund for a retainer splint mouth guard that doesn't fit. Okay, why don't you go ahead and tell me, first of all, did you hire Dr. Denar to do a mouth implant of some sort of mouth guard?
It's a mouth. I went to him. He's a professional. He deals with TMJ, as he told me.
Mhm.
I went to him to have, he calls it a mouth guard,
Okay,
retainer splint, to have it made because I have TMJ. I can't buy one over the counter because it says do not use those if you have TMJ.
okay,
So I did have one, and they did make a mold for me on the 26th of June. They made an impression, and I had to pay $450 up front.
was it this year you're talking about, June
Yes,
26th of this year?
2024, correct.
Okay,
Okay. And the impression was
Hey, what's up, Otto? I want to thank you for your super sticker the other night. You sent it right after I hit end to the stream, so I did not see it till I was told that you sent it. So I just wanted to make sure I said thank you. I've been waiting to see you before I said thank you. So glad you're here, bud.
made, and then I went back July 9th to get the mouth guard.
Okay.
And the girl handed it to me and I said, well, I'm supposed to have it fitted by the dentist, by the doctor. And she said, no, we don't do that. And I said, every splint I've had, it has to been professionally adjusted to my bite because that's why I'm wearing a splint retainer. And so she tried and she put it in and she couldn't get it out. And then she pulled and tried. And I have old caps and I told her it was hurting. She had her mouth in her fist in my mouth where it was cutting the sides of my mouth. And I told her, please go get the doctor. And she didn't want to. Finally, she did. And he came in and he yelled, what's your problem? And I said, doctor, please. You could see my face in tears and red from the pain. I'm a senior. And she kept trying to force it and she couldn't get it out. And he yelled at her and said, take it out. And so it took her quite a while to get it out. And I was just in tears and he left the room. And so I went and he refused to adjust it. And I said, so I took it. I was upset and I just took it. I wore it and my mouth wouldn't close. My jaw goes out of whack because my alignment's off, my jaw, my bite's off. So I waited and waited because I was really scared to go back to him because he was not nice at all. And I was afraid, but I didn't have any other choice. I'm a senior and I don't have $450 to throw out. So I made another appointment August 16th, specifically with him, not the girl that was doing it. Donna said, I don't even know what her requirements are, but I've never had anybody do a retainer with TMJ other than the doctor themselves. And this would be my third retainer. So I went back thinking that I would see the doctor and he didn't come in. So I thought, okay, maybe he'll come in after so I go back in. She goes to put it back in and she can't get it on. And she's pulling and jerking it to get on. And I said, it's not fitting. And then I said, please go get the doctor. She finally got it on. And again, I'm in tears. It hurts. And I asked her, please go get the doctor. And she really didn't want to go get the doctor. And I thought, why is she afraid to go get the doctor? She works with him. So then she went and got him and he came in and says, now what's the problem? And I asked him if he would please adjust it because we couldn't get it in and we couldn't get it out. So obviously there's something wrong. I have the retainer here and I was hoping that if I was in court that I could have you see in person the evidence of the retainer not fitting, not going in or coming out. And so he told me it's supposed to be tight. I said, I understand that. And I said, but if you can't get it in and get it out, I said, how am it's wrong. You need to adjust it. He refused to adjust it. He said, we don't do that. And I said, well, why did you say you were going to work with me with TMJ? Specifically said you were trained and you would help me. And he wouldn't even look at it. He wouldn't adjust it. So he left the room, didn't talk to me. And the girls came in. I apologized to the girls. And I said to Ida and Donna said, I apologize. I said, it's not your fault, but I have problems with TMJ. My bite's not always the same. And usually the dentist will work numerous times and then have me come back for a readjustment because your bite's not always the same with TMJ. And I didn't know what else to do. And so I said, I'd like a refund. And Ida said, there aren't any refunds. And I said, you're telling me he's refusing to work with me. He will not adjust it. And there's no refunds. And then I get she took off. And then the dentist came back in and he said, I want you to write down everything, what's wrong with the retainer, the mouth guard. What's wrong with it? All the problems that's wrong with it and the problems you're having, write it down and I will submit it to the lab and then they will adjust the retainer to what you're saying. I said, doctor, that's impossible. You haven't even adjusted it. How am I going to communicate to a lab telling them what's wrong when you haven't adjusted it to find out the problems? You're the dentist. Now you're wanting me to write to and you were going to send it to the lab. I don't have the jurisdiction or the the knowledge to tell a lab how to fix that retainer. A dentist is supposed to take it, is supposed to align, they're supposed to grind it, they're supposed to bite with chalk where it's going to show where it's not working. In the examples I sent you, I did research with professional case doctors and that with TMJ.
Can't tell me anything that anybody else said. Those documents or anything else, okay?
No, okay, but I was just showing you. So then I can't buy a retainer over the internet. I mean, over the counter, because I have pictures here. Judge, if you'd like to just look at these, and it's telling you absolutely do not wear a retainer over the counter. That's why I went to Dr. D. And so then I left and I was really upset. And then Ida called and she said they could refund $260. And I said, no, I need a full refund because he didn't do anything. He refuses to adjust it. And if he would have taken the time to even come, he wouldn't even come and look in my mouth. So how are you going to work with a patient when you won't even come look in your mouth to see what the problem is, let alone try to adjust it? And I've never had a dentist do that to me. So I tried to work with him and he never talked to me. When he said he's called me numerous times, his staff called me and left me notes. He did not. The only time I talked to him, because he refused to talk to me, the only time I talked to him was on September, let me see here. I believe it was September 10th. And he called me and I was in a car taking a previous client, I'm not working, a previous client to the funeral home. A friend died. And he's telling me, we have a year to adjust the retainer, that mouth guide. We have a year. They'll work with us, the lab. I said, I understand, doctor, but you're missing the whole point. It doesn't matter how many retainers you make for me. If you refuse to adjust it to my bite, then it's waste of time, because the retainer, when it's an ongoing relationship with the dentist, when you go get your teeth clean, you're to take your retainer in, because he's constantly supposed to be checking the bite for you, because your bite does change. And so it's an ongoing thing. So how can I work with him? He's a good dentist. I don't disrespect him, but when he refuses to work with me in this thing, what good's it going to do me to have when it doesn't fit? And then he's not ever, if he doesn't fix it the first time, adjust, how am I going to go back for more adjustments? So on, I had it written down here, believe on.
Judge Goggins tried to get a word in right there. He just went like, okay. I think we heard enough. Nope, she doesn't stop talking. I couldn't find a good time to pause it to get a word in. Judge Goggins can't talk.
Okay, right here. So he didn't contact me. His staff contacted me. And I even wrote to Ida and I said, Ida, you cannot respond to me. I have to talk directly with Dr. D, because if we're going to court, it has to be between him and I, not the staff. And they text me, and I have copies of all of these texts. And on September 9th, they text and says that they tried to reach me several times via phone.
Okay. Don't tell me anything they said. It's right now.
Okay, so September 10th, it's the last time I talked to him. I told him I was in a parking lot, and I said, doctor, it doesn't matter. He never once asked me if I was in pain. He never once asked me if I was okay. And he could tell, how does the doctor see you in pain? Now I'm cracking my teeth without a retainer. I have no dentist to go to. And I don't know what else to do. And I tried to, if in the letter I wrote you, I said I did everything I could to keep this out of court. So he wants to keep making another retainer. And the reason I rejected that is because it doesn't matter how many they make. It has to be adjusted to my bite and to line it with my jaw. My jaw comes out, your jaw's like in a socket, it comes out, my jaw locks.
Okay.
I have headaches. I can't open my mouth wide. I have trouble chewing. I have cuts and marks inside my gums because of the bite is off now.
Okay. Okay, let me hear from Dr.
Okay, thank you.
Gansfar. Yeah, so,
How much you want to bet the dentist talks for only about 3 minutes? It's all he's gonna need. That's it.
first of all, did you do some medical treatment for Miss Wiley? I guess make a mouth guard of some sort. Is that what
Yes,
happened?
Your Honor.
Okay. And just for my sake, you're licensed in the state of Michigan.
Yes, Your Honor.
In, why don't you tell me from your perspective, I guess, was the mouth guard just for a bite situation? What was it for?
Well, Susan needed night guard. She came in. We made one for her. She came back about 5 weeks later is when I saw her. 5 weeks later, she said that I am not happy with this. I am on a fixed income. $450 is too much for a night guard. And that nothing is made correctly about this night guard. She said she wants a full refund. And I told her that the lab does have a 1-year warranty on this. They'll make any adjustments to it as you need it. What we're going to do, I said, you're here right now. We do have the time right now. Why don't we take a new impression of your upper and lower teeth? We'll take a new bite registration. I'm going to give you a piece of paper. You write down everything you see that's wrong with it. We will send the new impressions and the old night guard with your notes to the lab. They'll make any adjustments to it as you need, and they'll send it back. Now, I had done the exam on the model. That's how we do the exam on the model, because we have the impression of the teeth. When we send it to the lab, they make it. It's just a simple little plastic, Your Honor. It's a horseshoe-shaped plastic that sits on the teeth.
Yep.
And it's made hard to take on and off because the concern is patient could swallow it and choke on it during their sleep. So it is always a little bit of a struggle getting it in and getting it out. Now, I had done the exam. Everything looks flawless. We use Davison Dental Lab. They do great work. That's why we use them. I didn't tell her that it was nothing wrong with it because it doesn't matter what I think of it, Your Honor. What's important what the patient thinks of it. So that's why I told her to write everything down. We'll just have them, you have up to a year. We'll do all the adjustments. Now, we don't do the adjustments in office because the lab has to make it. They have a warranty on it. And if we adjust in the middle, that voids the warranty. So when I said that it's not refundable, what we can send it the impression to the lab, she got very upset. She said, you know what? I will sue you. And she left the office. We tried calling her several times. I called her later on that day. Ida called her, that's my acting office manager, several times. It got to a point where she refused to accept phone calls from us. She said, I only want to be contacted via writing. And that's in a text message, Your Honor. Okay. We can send a copy of it to you. She said, and then the last time we got in touch with her was when she asked me.
It's Mayor's birthday? Did I see that right? Happy birthday, Mayor. Happy birthday. Yeah, I would sing for you, but nobody wants to hear that. Happy birthday.
What is your final decision? What are you going to do? And I said, you know, we have two options. One option is to make it over again. Or option B is, which I thought was more than fair compromise. I said that the lab fee portion and the assistance time would come to $167. That portion would not be refundable. But everything else we can refund. Now, the cost of making a return, Your Honor, is more than.
Generally, yes. It depends, though. What is it? It's like small claims, you can't have a lawyer. But if you're requesting more than, I think it depends what jurisdiction, but it's like more than 5,000, then that upgrades it to general civil. So it's not small claims, and you can have an attorney. A lot of sorry, I just kind of choked on myself. It depends what jurisdiction you're in, though. I'm sure all jurisdictions are different. Bad Scooter, thank you so much for the 10 months. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
That's not counting the impression material, the impression tray, the front desk time, or what it takes to keep an office open for an hour. But just the two big prices with the assistant time, and that's if I volunteer my time. You know, the assistant time and the lab fee $167, so we get a refund of $283. She said, no, I want a full refund or I will sue you. And here we are, Your Honor. This is over 100.
Okay. So that just so I understand, the first option was to just make basically a new mouth guard.
Yes, Your Honor.
A night guard, I guess what you're calling it. Yeah. And that did you actually explain to her that you needed to do a new bite impression?
I told her, you're here right now. We have the time. Let's do the impression right now.
Okay.
That was on when she was here in August, I believe.
Okay, and what exactly did she say? Did she just outright refuse, or what?
She said, no, I want a full refund. This is not made correctly, and I don't want to have it done over again.
Okay. And did you explain, for my sake, did you explain to her that you wouldn't be doing an adjustment on it because of the warranty? It would void it?
That specific aspect, I don't remember, honestly.
Okay. But that's the reason
she was so upset that, I mean, she stormed out saying, I'm going to sue you. It was disturbing, to say the least.
Okay. And then the other option, if she said willing to refund $260, is that the right figure after?
No. The lab fee and the assistance time comes out to $167.
Okay.
So it would be a refund of $283.
Oh, so the refund's actually more than what she was telling me. 283 would have been the refund.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
And we have that in the text form that we can again send a record of that to you.
Okay.
Your Honor, can I say something?
You can.
Do you notice that he never addressed that he never adjusted it? A lab will not know how to adjust anything if he doesn't even see if it fits in my mouth.
Yeah, man, what he's telling me though, I thought he answered the question. What he told me was he wasn't going to adjust the night guard, is what he called it, a night guard, because it would void the warranty. What he was willing to do was do a new impression, send the impression in with what your written statement of what problems you were having, so that they have a good, accurate idea.
I appreciate it, Nick. Thank you so much for becoming a new member. Welcome to the family. Speaking of which, tomorrow night, Members Monday. Stop by, hang out with us.
What was going on?
I understand that. This is the retainer, okay?
Yep.
It goes up in the upper.
Yep.
If it doesn't fit. This is my third retainer. I've never had a retainer where a dentist did not even put it in my mouth to see. How can he tell? A lab can make a bunch of these, but if he has not seen what has to be done to tell the lab, if he sends us back to the lab, they do not know.
It sounds like, let me hear from him though. Doc, did you actually, I thought you told me that you were in with the assistant and the assistant took it out.
I was with Dennis.
Hold on. Let me hear from him first. Okay.
Your Honor, the night guard comes on a stone model cast.
Okay.
The exam on the cast, because you can clearly see how the teeth come together.
Yeah.
We see the teeth, how they come together. I check it before we even call the patient.
Okay.
And when I did the exam on the cast model, which is a more accurate way of doing the exam, there was absolutely nothing wrong with it. But I didn't tell her that. I said, we can send it to the lab. We'll take a new impression. Maybe her teeth has shifted. It had been 5 weeks. And if she hadn't been wearing it, it's possible teeth may have shifted around. And that's why I said, let's take a new impression, new bite registration. We'll send it to the lab and the lab can make the adjustments. This is not a complicated, it's a piece of, like she showed you, it's a piece of plastic that's soft on the inside, hard on the outside. It clips onto the existing teeth.
Mm-hmm.
So there isn't a lot of adjustment that needs to be done. What they do is they put in a warm water, they kind of stretch it a little bit and they put on the cold water, but that has to be done by the lab who made it. Otherwise they could say, well, it was messed up. Now we can't.
Sure. So I guess for her sake though, did you actually see the night guard on her?
Yes, I was in the room when Danny said, by the way, she wasn't sure about Danny said's qualifications. Danny said, my assistant, she's a general dentist who's worked with 8 years of experience. She's just not licensed in this state.
Okay.
But so that's why she serves as a dental assistant, but she has just as much experience as I do. She's actually phenomenal and I stand behind her 100%.
Okay, so she's licensed as well. It's not
not in Michigan.
Okay, but well, yeah, I guess, yeah. But she's got the experience that you were comfortable with, and Absolutely. She's not like just I guess just an office manager that's coming in to do something. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. She's very knowledgeable about occlusion.
Okay.
Your Honor, maybe.
Okay, sure.
You know one thing?
Yep. One more thing.
He said he looked at it before he didn't, because she handed me a box. It came in a box.
Okay.
She handed me the box. And I said, what's this? She said, my retainer, my mouth guard. And I
Okay.
said, well, why is it in the box? Where's the doctor? Isn't he going to put it in to make sure it fits? And if it does, or if it doesn't, and it was in a box. And so she opened it. I said, and then she goes, here. And I said, I need somebody, the doctor needs to come in and check this, because that's what the two other professional dentists I went to, that's what they did.
Okay, but ma'am, that may not be the way he does it, though.
Okay, understand.
Doctor, let me ask you, if the way she's describing it, the dentist came in and looked at it, and I'm sure that's one way to do it. The way you did it sounds like you had an assistant.
Yeah, Your Honor, I do the exam on the model when it comes from the lab. They deliver it, I open the box, I look at it, make sure everything is good. If there's any problems, we send it back to the lab. Davis Dental Lab, they're outstanding. There's almost never a problem. There has been one time a problem in the past 14 years that I've been doing this. It was a crown that they made an adjustment to it very fast. Now, I did the exam on the model. Like I said, it's a more accurate way of doing it. And there was nothing wrong on the model. And I was in the room when Danny Say was trying to put it in. I told her, it is tough to put it in and take it out. And the concern is you could choke on it if it comes off in your sleep. If you want it loosened up, we can do that. We have to send it to the lab. They'll take it. They'll do all that stuff. But she was not interested in the adjustment.
And just for my sake, Doc, the way you were, I guess the way you practice, having your assistant do that, you're in the room, is that a general standard of care that would be normal across the board? It's not a substandard way to do it, is it? Okay.
Yep. Delivery is not a big involved thing. Honestly, the entire night guard is not very complicated. It's just a piece of plastic. Like I said, it covers the incisal 1/3 of the teeth. That's
Okay.
all it does.
Okay. Miss Wiley, give you one more chance at whatever you want to tell me. I'm going to make a decision. In fact, actually, let me tell you this. Normally I don't get into negotiating this thing, but he gave two options. One was to have that adjustment made, a new impression made, sent out to the lab with your problems that you're having with it. The other one was just to give you a refund. Your argument seems to be mostly you just want a new night guard, period.
Your Honor, may I say something?
Sure.
For some reason, it's not being addressed that he ignored me. He didn't come. He physically did not come to see. So if he's watching somebody else, how does he know?
Yeah, I know, and that's why that's why, ma'am, if you had your own expert, he's telling me what standard of care is.
Okay.
You don't have anybody that's telling me any different. I can't have you tell me, unless you've got a dental degree. You got a dental degree?
Sir, all I can do is tell you through experience, and this bothers me
Yep,
because he did
but I
not
can't.
open the box.
What you want to tell me through your experiences are not expert.
Let me put it this way.
Okay.
He said he looked at this.
Okay.
Why was it in a box, taped up when it was delivered? How did he see it? Did he put it back in a box and tape it back up?
Ma'am, the doctor just.
All right, I'm gonna say this. She still has it. She has the retainer, the mouth guard, night guard, whatever it's called. She still has it, and she wants a refund. It sounds like she just wants the retainer for free. She's making all these complaints. She doesn't know what she's complaining about, and she has the retainer. What? This is blowing my mind.
Told us that he looked at it and reviewed it compared to the impression that was taken.
But sir, an impression is a piece of clay.
Stone.
Okay, what you can't go by that because this is what I wear.
Ma'am, he says you can. He's the expert. You don't have an expert that's going to tell me anything different.
Sir, Your Honor, have him show you the mold and tell me I'm supposed to.
No, I'm not gonna do it. It's your case.
Okay.
If you don't have an expert here, I'm gonna listen to what he's told me.
That's fine.
Okay.
I feel that my voice isn't being heard because TMJ is a very serious element.
Okay.
It's to
And
deal with the
let-
bones. I went to him for it.
And let me, Jim, let me just ask a question then too. why did you just refuse to have a second impression done?
Okay, if this one doesn't fit, okay, and then they make another mold and they send the mold to the lab and we get it back, that's great. But if he does not, the key of a professional retainer mouth guard is that the dentist take it and put it in the mouth and check the bite and the alignment. That is the whole key to this case. That is what we're talking about. He never came and put it in my mouth. He never took it out. He never checked. So how, if he sent another thing to the lab and he's going to tell the lab it doesn't fit, how are they going to make another one? Because it is not an exact from the mold and from the actual piece. It always has to be readjusted or checked with the dentist.
Ma'am, and I can appreciate what you're telling me, but you're speculating on what the standard of care is.
He told
Okay.
me when
Ma'am,
I talked to him.
Okay, we're done, I guess.
Right.
I guess the unfortunate thing is I just have to make a decision what I got. Okay. Let me take a brief recess. I'll give you, just give me
Thank
1
you.
minute here.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you.
Let's go.
All right. I will say this. Judge Goggins generally takes between 5 and 10 minutes after he hears both sides to make a decision. He took about 1 minute on this one. It wasn't that long at all. Yeah. And I'm going to, no, I have no other words.
Back on the record, I had a chance to review my notes as well as the pleadings in this matter. You find that the plaintiff has failed to meet her burden of proof with regard to what she's claimed. There was an allegation that the required medical standard of care was not performed. I find that that medical standard of care was performed by the defendant dentist, Dr. Denshvar. In this matter, there's been no evidence disputing his treatment of this patient, Susan Wiley. Also find that the defendant offered a second impression with what she was complaining about with the night guard to be taken and sent with her complaints to the lab for corrections. She refused that. He also offered a reasonable compromise with regard to a refund on certain aspects of that night guard. There were some expenses that he was not willing to compromise on. Find that those offers were reasonable. She refused that as well, nonetheless. And plaintiff failed to provide evidence that defendant's services that were provided were substandard, or that the night guard was not offered to be corrected with what she was complaining about. There's been no proof that the actual night guard that was given was defective in any manner. There may have to be some other adjustments made on the impressions that were done, but there's been no evidence showing that that was any cause from the defendant, Dr. Denshvar, at this point. Therefore, no cause of action. This matter is dismissed. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good luck to both of you. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Good luck. You're welcome. Good luck, ma'am.
Can
Yeah.
I just ask a quick question?
If it's regarding what I just did, I'm not gonna, no,
Does that mean he's going to pay me for what he said he would?
no.
Okay, thank
Your
you.
case is no cause of action at this point. That's why I
Okay.
tried to give you a chance. So, okay, good luck. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
You're welcome.
Okay, Cindy. I can't believe it.
Oh, we can. We can believe it. Yeah, we all saw that coming. She spoke for, let's see, we're 39 minutes into this tonight's live. She spoke for 35 of those 39 minutes. Just saying. All right, let's move on. We're going to move to a Judge Middleton case. This one is interesting, mainly because, well, you'll see why. I don't think I need to explain it. But the main reason I'm playing Judge Middleton tonight is I am going to be there in the next couple of days. So looking forward to that. So I wanted to throw a Middleton clip up here. This is going to be a good clip for a potential follow-up. I think they say January 3rd is her sentencing, but you'll see. You'll see what's going on.
Yes, thank you. All right. Ms. Sharpstein, why don't you come over and have a seat here? Let me figure this out. Thank you, Diane.
Yeah, Debbie Davis is going to be there. I'm going up there to hang out with, well, pretty much going to be hanging out with Debbie Davis, but I picked the day that she would be in Judge Middleton's court. So, yep, Tuesday. Oh, dead air. You got to love dead air.
All right. The report says you were in the store for 6 hours. You were in several blind spots and you stole a bunch of random stuff. Sewing machine stuff, transparent tape, arts and crafts materials. A bracelet, women's wear bandana, some other home merchandise, blackout curtains, some underpants, a tank top, V-neck t-shirt, short sleeves, and they say you were wearing the bathing suit. I presented a photo consent form for our records she refused to sign. Due to her lack of cooperation, dollar amount, and not returning the items she was wearing and lying, I opted to trespass Sharpstein legally through Walmart trespass. Once that was completed, she was released without further incident. The recovered merchandise was returned to stock. $356 worth of random home goods and some clothing, including a bathing suit. I don't know who takes a bathing suit in September, but time and true high-low tank. I'm not sure. Let's see what this is. Again, Sharpstein came out of the fitting room wearing a swimsuit underneath her clothing. It was visible from her collar. Okay. One more. And then they trespass you. You can't go back there. So I'm not sure what to do. According to them, You had $356 worth of stuff. We're in the store for 6 hours, including wearing some items. You deny that. What do you have to say about that?
I did not wear that bathing suit. It was, they sent the lady, the two, like floor walkers, whatever you call them, they were dressed in regular clothes. They sent the lady of the two to look in the dressing room because I told them that I had left it in the dressing room. I tried it on and left it in there, and she did call and tell them that she found that in the dressing room. They did not ask me to take anything off. They did not search me like that where I refused to give them an item. It was in the dressing room, sir.
All right. Well, if you're wearing it, I'm going to give you about 90 days in jail.
I
If you're
was
not wearing it, then we'll take that. I'm going to have to watch the video to
Okay.
determine what's accurate here. Often people will do that. They'll admit most of it, but not everything, just to for whatever reason.
Mhm.
So their version directly contradicts yours. So I'm gonna set this out for a bit. We can even set it for after Christmas. But if you're wearing that bathing suit, I'm gonna be very disappointed. So if you were, you might as well tell me now.
No, sir, I was not.
All right. You've never been charged with this before, but it looked like you were good at it. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but I'm gonna set this for sentence for, let's go into next year, January 6th at 10:30. Need to see photos and video from report. All right, we'll see what we got here. Most of the property was recovered. It was $356 worth of stuff. And most of it was recovered. They said you lied to them and you were uncooperative and you were still wearing some of the stuff. So they submitted this for a warrant. That's a Monday, January 6th, 25 at 10:30. All right, I'll see you then. I'll get a chance to watch the video and see what's what. Do you have any questions?
Yes, well, I have a counsel there then, so I can prove that I'm not lying about stuff and how I was not uncooperative. The only thing I didn't answer their questions, so I would, so that I would incriminate myself.
Well, that's your right.
But I didn't, they didn't ask me to take it and show them that I didn't have a bathing suit on, except for I told them to go to the dressing room. Look, it's in the dressing room.
Well, according
That
to
lady
the
did.
report, they could see the bathing suit and it should show up in the photographs and the video. It said it's visible at the neckline.
Right.
No, if right now you've waived your right to counsel and entered a plea of guilty. If you want me to appoint a lawyer for you, I can.
No, that's fine.
All right, we'll see. If we get into a problem, we can always appoint a lawyer at some later point. But now we'll address this after I watch the video and review the rest of the report. But I want to make sure I got the whole story because their story and your story don't match.
And I do have a tank top on under my clothing during that day because I always wear a tank top. I have one on today, as a matter of fact. So I don't know if they interpreted my tank top for a bathing suit, but I do know they did find what I tried on in the dressing room still.
Well, what happens, this often happens with shoes. Someone will come in wearing an old pair of shoes
Yes.
and go out wearing a new pair of shoes. We'll be able to tell from the videos what you were wearing on the way in and what you're wearing on the way out.
Okay,
Maybe that'll help answer the question.
okay,
All right, I'll see you on January 6th.
okay.
Thank you.
You need to make a record
I
on
do.
Yoder and Conley.
All right. I can do that. If that potentially comes up in a conversation, I can. I don't know. That might be a sensitive subject to bring up to Judge. I think Judge Middleton was pretty disappointed that he couldn't get help for that guy. So I don't know. If it comes up, I'll for sure bring it up though. Derval, thank you so much for the super chat. Just because my favorite kinds of super chats. I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you. All right, moving on. I think we might have a Judge Clark sneaking in here. Or maybe Judge Clark's at the end.
Still in that breakout room.
Oh, Judge Washington. Let's go.
She was stuck in there for a while. Court will recall the matter of the state of Michigan versus Marissa Norman, case number 24S00002.
Tiffany Woods for the people.
Kerma Dadush on behalf of Miss Norman.
Ms. Norman, please state your name.
Marissa Norman.
Where are we with this, Mr. Douche?
Your Honor, I talked to Miss Norman. She is ready to admit to the violation, but if Your Honor would allow me to say a couple of words on her behalf, if you would allow that.
I will allow that. Ms.
Thank
Norman,
you.
you understand you have a right to have a hearing on the violations. But you're going to waive that right and admit that you violated probation in the ways that I indicated. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Please raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You may lower your hand. Is it true you were discharged from the CCLP program on October 16th, 2024, ma'am?
Yes.
Yeah, he swore two people in. He swore her and I can't remember the other woman's name. Short, curly blonde hair. I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but both of them were sworn in this week.
And is it true that you have failed to drug test as ordered and you have not drug tested since you were sentenced?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I find that there's a knowing and willing admission to the violation and are you satisfied, Ms. Woods?
Yes, Judge.
Ms. Dadush?
Defense is also satisfied, Your Honor.
Thank you. What would you like to say on your client's behalf?
Your Honor, I talked to Miss Norman. What I'm about to say is not Miss Norman trying to come up with excuses. She just wants to explain why she missed the tests that she did. Miss Norman has shared with me that she's a single mom. She has two children. Because she's unable to drive right now because of the nature of her conviction or her charge, she has been needing to take Ubers everywhere to drop them off to school, to go to work, and to go to testing or anything else that she's required to do. Your Honor, she's explained to me that she has only so much money and that she realizes that she should have prioritized the money that she's allocating to go towards Ubers to take her to testing and not miss that. I did talk to her and tell her that there are alternatives to Uber that may not cost as much, like taking a bus or having friends or family. And she does, if Your Honor will give her a chance instead of sending her to jail, to give her one more chance to try her best to make all those tests. She will test and she will come up negative on those tests. And she will prioritize testing over other things, and she realizes the importance of that now.
Anything from you that you want to say at this time, Ms. Woods?
Judge, just briefly, I just wanted to point out that, I'm concerned considering, what she was charged with and what she's on probation for, that she's absolutely done nothing. And I understand that she's having a hard time, but, she could have easily picked up that phone or or emailed her probation officer to see if there's anything that could be done. And she didn't even reach out for help, which, I wish she would have done that because maybe we would be in a different position today. That's all I wanted to say, Judge.
Your Honor, could I respond very briefly to that?
Very briefly.
Very briefly, Miss Norman has told me that she had trouble talking to probation. She said that she called and that she wasn't able to get into contact with her probation officer, but that she did try to call, and that's why she doesn't have communication with them at all.
So when Miss Norman was before me on August 20th and I sentenced her,
I feel like a lot of people are taking this opportunity to kind of not throw probation under the bus, but say, hey, I've been trying. They're not getting back to me. One of the probation officers just left. So one of the probation officers that we've seen in Judge Washington's court almost every day for the past year, she no longer works there. So she leaves, and not even a week after she leaves, defendants are using the excuse, oh, we tried. We can't get a hold of anybody. We tried. It's annoying.
the recommendation was that she test 3 times per month. I gave her a break and told her she could test 2 times per month. And instead she tested not at all. Not like one single time. I don't know if I've had anyone who got sentenced and just chose to do nothing, but that there are no repercussions for that.
I understand,
Your
Your Honor.
Honor.
What, Ms. Norman?
I did test twice. I did want to say that. I don't know if that's not on record, but I did go up there in October, and I have been up there once this month. I don't know what happened, but I was having trouble in September. So I don't know how that's not in there.
Ms. Johnson? Are you present?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, can you double check to see whether they have her testing at all? Where'd you go? Community corrections?
Yes.
I see a test for October 17th, which looks like it was a PBT and ETG test, which was negative. And then November 15th and 18th she missed. August 22nd, September 9th, September 26th, October 3rd were all missed tests. August 13th, July 25th was negative for ETG. So those are the tests that I'm showing for her.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, I'm gonna do a sentencing in person for her. And she had best to get the testing and get herself back in the CCOP before then.
Yes, Your Honor.
December 12th, 2024 at 11 a.m. in person.
Thank you so much, Your Honor. Ms. Norman, I'll call you after court, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Did you understand, ma'am, what I said you need to do before then?
Yes, I need to contact probation and start testing. We'll call every day.
You need to test as you are ordered to test, and you need to get yourself back into the CCOP program, is what I said.
CCOP at Dawn Farms.
You were in the community corrections outpatient program that you got discharged from failing to attend.
Can I say something else, Your Honor? With Dawn Farms, I was attending, but I didn't realize that.
I'm not talking about Dawn Farms. That's not the
I'm sorry.
firm. We're in the community corrections outpatient program now. Okay.
I can explain it to you after court, Miss Norman.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Talk to your attorney about it.
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
All right. Moving on to the last clip of the night. What was it? I lost my train of thought. I was gonna just talk about Judge Washington for a second. Completely forgot what I was gonna say. It is that kind of night. Before I move on, Fozzie, thank you so much for the super chat. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. I mean, technically I met her a few months ago, but yeah, meet her in person. I'm excited for that. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Okay, last clip. This is Judge Clark, and this is, I don't know how to explain this clip. You'll see. It's kind of the. All right, I'm just gonna let it play. If I'm stuttering for too many seconds in a row, then that means I'm talking in circles, and I'm just gonna let it play. But because there's only about 5 minutes left, I'm gonna go ahead and just let this clip play out, and I'm gonna go look for someone to raid. If there is anybody to raid, I don't know. I don't know if anyone's streaming tonight. We'll see. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. Someone's saying Miss McDuffie, Colin. Miss McDuffie, Colin? I don't know what you mean. Miss McDuffie no longer in Judge Washington's court. She's not there anymore. I saw someone earlier saying that she took some kind of job with Fox. I haven't heard that. I don't know if that was a joke or if that was serious. I haven't heard that yet. But yeah, she's not there anymore. No idea. I did try to interview her a couple months ago. I talked to her assistant multiple times, but Miss McDuffie never called me back. So yeah, hopefully she, she's doing well. But yeah, I've got no news on her. Okay, it was a joke. Okay, I appreciate you saying that, because when I saw it, I was like, yeah, maybe. I don't know. All right, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for the super chats tonight, guys. Super chats, membership milestones. You guys are awesome. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. Have a great week. Got a big week coming up. I've got a couple sovereign citizens on the calendar this week, including a jury trial if I can get into the Zoom room. I'll try. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, but I'll try. Meeting Debbie Davis this week and Judge Middleton. That's going to be awesome. Other than that, it's going to be a pretty standard week. Oh, yeah, it's Thanksgiving. That kind of changes things. Yeah. I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. If you guys have any plans, don't do anything dumb. You don't want to be on my channel. Trust me, you don't. All right. I am talking way too much. I'm going to let this video play out now. You guys are awesome. Have a great week. Have a great Thanksgiving. Have a great holiday. Do you. Just don't do anything dumb. Until next time, bye.
Judges, this is Garrison Creamers. You're reporting case 23-23-29. Your Honor, there was a court progress report filed by Life Management. I do believe that Ms. Holder's here with Life Management, but I'll defer to the state. Deferring to you. Well, Your Honor, he's here. There's a court progress report. And of course, Your Honor, Mr. Creamer would like to be released from custody.
Has there been any change since November 4th?
Okay.
I'm gonna leave him in Bay County Jail till he becomes, and Mr. Kramer, we're stuck until I can find you competent.
Okay, so what the judge is saying is that you need to take medication but because otherwise you're not going to be competent according to the doctors. You want to talk regarding your competency?
Yes.
Regarding your need to take medication?
Well, the primary basis that Dr. Pitcher used to say that I was incompetent was based on false information. Illusions of grandeur.
Listen to me, I'm not gonna find you competent until we have an expert to come in here and say that Mr. Creamer has been restored to competency. I've already found that you're incompetent. So any argument you make right now, I'm not going to consider. So you're incompetent to proceed at this time.
So listen, basically what they're saying is in the end, and telling you take the medication that they're prescribing you.
I've never been prescribed.
Okay, so they're apparently going to tell you to take some medication at the jail. You need to take it. Otherwise, what the judge is saying is, hey, listen, there's no way to get you out until someone says you're competent. And essentially what they're saying is, until you take the psychiatric medication that they're trying to give you, you're not going to be competent. You understand where we are?
Yeah, I understand where we're at, but
Okay.
there's definitely things that have to be addressed in terms of.
So this judge is in control of the case. And what he's telling you is until an expert comes in front of him and says, you're competent, that's not going to happen. And what life management is saying is there's not going to be a doctor that's going to do that until you take your medication.
Okay.
Okay.
But I mean, I was compliant with life management.
That's what they said, but except for like taking a medication. Okay. So judge is going to give us another court date between now and then. You kind of need to work with the doctors there. Okay.
My main point was that my primary witness, the delusions of grandeur that was
All right,
mentioned.
let me go ahead and do this. This is a status hearing.
Yes, sir.
I'm finding you're still incompetent to proceed. I'm gonna set this for December 20th for another status review hearing. I'd like for life management to give me an opinion whether or not the Bay County Jail and life management is the least restrictive measures available to restore Mr. Creamer to competency. Okay, that'll conclude today's hearing, Mr. Creamer.
Thank you, Judge. And that concludes my business. I'll be to the jail to tell you what. Mr.
Mr. Sombathy?